What's up, Finstock Nation? What's up, Dolphin Nation? Today we're gonna go in and cover who was voted in as captains, and Devon A-Chain return to practice, and some other practice notes. Plus, we're gonna listen to the press conference of Mike McDaniel before practice today. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you who the captains are, who were voted captains for the 2025 season. Plus, I'll go ahead and later on read you an article. Guys, is this a slap to Tyreek Hill, or he didn't get voted as a captain because of his antics at the end of last season? Your first captain is your quarterback, number one, Tua Tagovailoa. Your second captain, and you'll see the tweet in the video, is Aaron Brewer. Your third captain, Alec Ingold. Your fourth captain, Jordan Brooks. Your fifth captain, Zach Zeeler. And your sixth captain, Bradley Chubb. So, officially, Tyreek Hill is not a captain for the 2025 season. I'm going to go ahead and read to you the captain article from the Sun Sentinel. Then I'll read to you the Devon A-Chain article and other news and notes. And then we'll go ahead and listen to the Mike McDaniel press conference. This article was written by David Furones of the Sun Sentinel. The Miami Dolphins announced their captains for the 2025 season on Monday morning, and star wide receiver Tyreek Hill was not among them. The Dolphins captains were quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, center Aaron Brewer, fullback Alec Ingold, defensive tackle Zach Zeeler, linebacker Jordan Brooks, edge defender or edge rusher Bradley Chubb. It's not a surprise Hill wasn't named a captain as voted by Dolphin teammates after the way he went out in 2024. He pulled himself out of the finale against the New York Jets as it became apparent Miami was bound for elimination from the playoff contention. And after the game, he had a locker room outburst telling the media he wanted out from the team. Back with the team for 2025, Tagovailoa started training camp by noting Hill still had a relationship to rebuild with teammates. I think it's more about the guys that we picked and less about the guys we didn't pick. Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel said Monday, because there are a lot of guys exemplifying tremendous leadership qualities that aren't captains on this football team. It seems notable, however, that Hill was a captain for the Dolphins each of his first three seasons with Miami since the trade from the Kansas City Chiefs in 2022. I don't think it's significant, Brewer said. Tyreek, he still brings the energy. He's still a leader on this team. Whether he was voted or not, he's still going to be the same person Tyreek is. He's going to push guys, drive guys, and people are going to follow behind him. He's still going to have the same influence he had when he was a captain 3 years ago. Same this year. Chubb said Hill's the denial of captainicity wasn't due to any active effort from teammates this year. It's just how the tables turned this year, Chubb said. Nobody was saying you don't vote Reek this year. It's just not how it played out. It's just how it played out. Brooks said Hill, who has been sidelined for much of camp and the preseason with the oblique injury, was scoring touchdowns at the team's practice Monday. Tagovailoa is a captain for the fourth consecutive season. Zeeler and Ingold are also repeat captains, and Ingold earning the C on his jersey for the third straight year. Brewer and Brooks are captains for the first time after joining the Dolphins in 2024 in the 2024 offseason. Both had established building leadership roles dating back to the middle of last season. Chubb is also a new captain after joining Miami mid-season in 2022 and once being a captain at his first NFL stop in Denver. It's something that I'm going to go headfirst into the honor and to honor it every day. I do it the best I can to represent the C, said Brooks, adding he just has to keep leading how he was at the end of 2024. Doing too much is never the answer. Just doing my job and doing what I'm supposed to do in my role within this organization. That's what I'm going to continue to do. Brewer made the proclamation on Monday that the Dolphins could be the best offensive line in the league after the unit struggled in 2024, but brought two new guards in James Daniels and rookie Jonas Savaianaya. 24 second round pick Patrick Paul ready to take over at left tackle for retired Toronto Armstead. We got all the parts. We got everything we need, Bruce said. Why not us? For Chubb, it's significant to be named captain after missing the 2024 season, recovering from his knee injury at the end of 2023. All last year, I was trying to find my way as a leader who wasn't on the field, Chubb said. Going all the way back to last year and thinking about my mindset around that time and seeing it come to fruition is pretty dope. News and notes and the return of the Devon A-Chain. This also was written by David Veronis. Miami Dolphins running back Devon A-Chain returned to practice Monday, according to coach Mike McDaniel. A-Chain has been nursing a calf injury that Mike McDaniel said was sidelining him as a precaution in the latter portion of training camp and the preseason. My vision of him practicing will become reality Monday, McDaniel said before. The Dolphins began preparation for their opener against the Indianapolis Colts with Monday's drills. During a brief media viewing portion of Monday's session, A-Chain was only seen working out on the side of practice. A-Chain missed a practice on August 14th, the Dolphins' second of two joint practices with the Detroit Lions. After he made it through the previous day of work in Allen Park, Michigan. A-Chain is still on track to play in the opener on Sunday at Lucas Oil Stadium against the Indianapolis Colts. I'm expecting him not to miss a beat based on the tremendous offseason, McDaniel said, and I would envision him being available for week one. Players not practicing Monday were running back Jalen Wright, lower body, cornerback Ethan Bonner, hamstring, wide receiver E. Estridge. Bonner and Estridge were seen working out on the side, along with wide receiver Tyreek Hill, oblique, who got touchdown passes later in the session, according to linebacker Jordan Brooks. Dolphins tight end Darren Waller is progressing toward playing in the opener in Indianapolis after being activated off the physical unable to perform list 2 weeks ago. I think I feel good about him being able to contribute, McDaniel said. Well, that looks like exactly is dependent on every day. That's critical for him. We're just going to be smart with it. The Dolphins also executed a roster move Monday, signing cornerback Isaiah Johnson back onto their practice squad and releasing fellow cornerback B.J. Adams, a UFC alum, from the practice squad. Johnson had made the initial 53-man roster, but he was then waived to make room for the return of veteran tackle Kendall Lamb. All right, guys. If Waller plays, I'll be surprised. If A-Chain plays, that's a 50-50 shot. Let's listen to the full McDaniel presser, and then I'll be it, because there's not much to say right now. There's no big surprises, and I already gave you my thoughts.
I'll start today by addressing the situation with Ryan Crow. He's been placed on leave indefinitely, and we're going to let the process play out. The allegations we take extremely serious, and from organization standpoint, from the whole spectrum of guilty all the way to innocent. Rule number one for our team is protect the team, and these the headlines are Dolphins, and they affect all players, all coaches, all staff members, all fans, all media members, and that you're to be on a team. It's a blessing that you have to have regard for things much bigger than yourself. So, rule number 1 is protect the team for reasons such as that, and that one was violated. However, rule number 2 on our team out of our 3-team rules is no excuses. Adversity is an opportunity, and we have an opportunity to focus this week. We'll have an opportunity for Sean Ryan to lead that outside linebacker group, and we have an opportunity to play the Indianapolis Colts, which, without further ado, I'm happy to take any questions. Specifically regarding week 1 would be ideal.
I guess I have a question about the captain. Just how excited are you that these were the guys that were named captains, and are you necessarily surprised?
Well, I'm really excited about the whole voting process this year in general, because each team is unique to its own, and this team I think was much more unified, and the focus on those 6 guys were very clear. So they were resounding vote getters, and I think it speaks to the team. I think knew the assignment a little bit more, and were focused on giving the keys of captainship to those that had earned it each and every day. And I think that's what it speaks to me the most, is a football team that knows who they want to be led by.
We've heard you and the players talk a lot about the process of training camping, evaluation, progression towards growth for the regular season. I'm curious how you perceive the shift from evaluation camp mode to now this week game plan and regular season mode.
Well, I think that's the trick, is that you're always investing in your game. So the opponent brings clarity to the issues that their style of play or the individual players, or it brings focus to your game, and how you're applying all of the things that we've really sharpened the iron on. So it's almost like a continuation of training camp, if you build it the right way, where you're thinking, talking, communicating through the points of emphasis that start with fundamentals and technique, and how does it apply to your given opponent? What stresses do they put on our collective rules and assignments, and the way we want to play football? So I think this team has done a very good job of really leaning into the points of emphasis throughout the entire offseason. So I think that the transition to an opponent can be noisy if you can allow it, or if you allow it, or it can be a natural progression from just like we did in joints. It's just very, very clear and focused. So I think overall, I'm hoping that transition will be smooth, because we know who the only opponent that matters is the one right in front of us.
The question to follow up about the team captains. I think this is the first year that you've had just 6. Am I correct? You've had 7 and 8. Why was that your decision, and why 6 now?
Well, it was just I thought to the disparity between those 6 vote getters and everyone else. It was like I said, it was more focused. Those guys were unilaterally voted for, and they kind of stood out before. There was a big gap between. So like it naturally, I think there's a lot of players that could do a great job being a captain, but for this team, the players vote for it, and with those 6 standing out so much, that was an easy decision to cut it there.
Do you have a thought on Tyreek not being voted the team captain?
Yeah, I would say my thought would be that he was an active participator in voting for probably multiple captains that we do have I think it's more about the guys that we picked and less about the guys we didn't, because there are a lot of guys exemplifying tremendous leadership qualities that aren't a captain of this football team. I think it's more of a focus on who is and not who isn't.
Mike, based on Thursday's session, obviously Waller's first practice with teamwork. Do you have any sense whether he's going to be able to help you on the field on Sunday yet?
Yeah, I mean, I think I feel good about him being able to contribute. What that looks like exactly is dependent upon every day that's critical for him. And we're just going to be smart with it. But yeah, I'm comfortable with where he's at, and excited to see him grow each and every practice. One of which is today.
Like, you're going to have some youth in key places we expect on Sunday. Jonah and Patrick Paul, Storm, Jason Marshall Jr. Do you expect the Colts to go at them, and is that normal for NFL Week 1 for youth?
Well, I think you're, that's the cool thing about NFL Sunday. In the regular season, all teams are so talented that every player gets held to the fire to some degree, because if you're one player off, a lot of times productivity finds, whether it's a running lane that a guy stays out of gap, or a pass rusher that gets home quick. You can't really hide on NFL Sunday. So I think everybody gets tested. The biggest thing is that the guys that have that Week 1 is old hat for, in terms of the vested veterans and your leadership within that. The process of the week is the biggest thing. I'm least worried about the young players we have on this team when we're just playing football. It's the preparation and the ownership of the game plan, and the really being able to use all the tools that they've shown very reliable or reliably throughout the course of training camp. It's that they're able to execute football to the standard of the National Football League. Everybody gets tested. You can't hide, but I think it's more about their process of preparation that is the biggest key for them, because they've been tested each and every day at camp. It's why it's so important that your team practices hard, so that there's nobody can hide.
Last year there seemed to be a very conscious and open discussion about the Dolphins' goal to snap a long franchise streak without a playoff win. Has the strategy and approach sort of shifted a little on that this year?
Well, I think the biggest thing is the acknowledgement of the reality, and focusing on what you can control, and thriving in whatever noise you want to apply. I think the lessons that or the things that we need to be adept at will be adept at in the moment of truth if we thrive in moments of different sort of noise. But I think overall the core of the team really, it's a part of them that I think everybody knows that you, when push comes to shove, you'll have an opportunity down the stretch of the season for us to be right or wrong, or the naysayers to be right or wrong, and that acknowledgement is kind of liberating for actually doing what you'd like to do. So that "they say we do" mantra it kind of applies throughout the entire course of the season. Regardless, there's always it's a high octane league, a lot of coverage, a lot of people care, and whether it's positive or negative, you have to be able to thrive in the noise, and for us to thrive in the noise of accomplishing something down the road, we're focused on what we're doing about it today, and that's why it's not coming up. I think people, we're trying to collectively train ourselves to worry about what's right in front of us and mastering that. And you're afforded those opportunities if you put yourself in position, and that's what we're focused on.
On HN still on track.
All right, guys, there you have it. What Mike McDaniel had to say. I'm not going to play the entire press conference, but there you have it. And like always, stay positive, stay on your grind, and go Dolphins. Peace.